Hi, or
Hello, Guy.
hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Guy Katsovich, and I'm a partner at Fusion LA. We are an accelerator and a micro fund for early stage Israeli startups. And as part of our efforts tapping into the early stage ecosystem, we are happy to partner this challenge with P&G Ventures. Um, Before we start, I actually want to say a formal thank you for all the judges, partners, and the P&G Ventures team, Lee, Julie, Ellen, and of course to you, Or, for having the opportunity to partner with us on this event. As part of our mission at Fusion LA, we wish to empower early stage founders who want to start the company from scratch. And we are very excited about consumer tech. And that's why we partnered with you on this challenge in order to give the opportunity for early stage startups who are doing consumer tech the chance to partner with one of the leading organizations in the world that is doing consumer tech, P&G. That's it. I want to thank for all the participants who are now listening, and of course for the founders who are going to present today in this finals. And that's it. I think with no further ado, I want to pass the ball to you.
Thank you, Guy. Pleasure to join you, and thanks for organizing such a wonderful event. Hello, everyone. My name is Miri. I'm part of the P&G Ventures team, and I'm thrilled to be here today. P&G Ventures is an early stage startup studio that is partnering with startups, entrepreneurs, and investors to create and build consumer product businesses in categories where Procter & Gamble does not serve the consumers today. We are working in spaces where there are major unsolved problems, yet are synergistics with the balance of our business. Here's a short video to provide an overview of who we are and our approach.
PGV is an internal startup studio within Procter & Gamble, and our purpose is to be able to partner with entrepreneurs who have great ideas within the key categories or spaces that we're looking to work in.
You know, as we work with entrepreneurs, one thing that P&G Ventures brings is all the infrastructure that comes around with P&G. Everything from supply chains to R&D, regulatory, branding, communication, endorsements, things like that because we have been around 180 years across many, many categories, we have a lot of relationships and a lot of skill base. And making that accessible to entrepreneurs is really where we think the magic happens.
Procter had all of the capability necessary, this deep and comprehensive expertise in doing this consumer product development. And so one of the things that happened in this partnership is they were able to help us understand where are the gaps. We as a team started to recognize the gaps, and then they leaned in with intense level of expertise to start to fill those gaps.
PGV brought in so many great resources for us. And they just supported us through the whole thing. They had specialists that knew exactly what to do. It was really incredible. And it just took everything to a whole new level, somewhere we didn't think we'd ever get.
There's a lot of stuff that we've learned how to do well because we're great at it or just because we failed at it. And there's a ton of things that entrepreneurs just shouldn't have to learn if they've got the right partner. When it comes to filing patents, when it comes to regulatory navigation, when it comes to how do you sell into a Home Depot or a Target. That's stuff that we do every day.
Well, without partnership, I don't think we could achieve changing the market. It's just not marketing and getting into retail, and it's just not technology that really works and solves a consumer problem. It's the marriage of the two.
One thing I love about this job is watching dreams come true for entrepreneurs. They have passion and energy, and they are determined to solve a problem for a consumer. And a lot of the issue sometimes is the how. And being able to see the products on shelf and see it in Target and Walmart or online, seeing those dreams come alive for those entrepreneurs and for P&G Ventures together as a partner, that makes for a good day.
All right. So to learn more about P&G Ventures, please go to pngventurestudio.com and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. We've been conducting the P&G Ventures Innovation Challenge for 3 years now, and this is the first time it arrives in Israel, so you can understand how excited we are. We've partnered with Fusion LA and received numerous applications from great entrepreneurs that were screened by a panel of esteemed judges to choose the 4 finalists you will see here today. We evaluated the startups based on the fit with our areas of interest, the consumer pain point and solution, the size of price and business model, the technology, the IP, and of course, the founding team. And with that, we have chosen 4 amazing finalists you'll hear today. Each of the finalists will have 7 minutes to pitch their solutions, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A with the judges, and then the judges will convene and decide on the winner. All finalists will receive 4 free hours of legal and patent consultation provided by Peral Cohen, and the winner will receive a $10,000 non-diluted grant from Fusion LA, 10 free hours of legal and patent consultation by Peral Cohen, and a chance to partner with P&G Ventures and have access to the expertise and capabilities developed by P&G over the company's 180 years history. While the judges are deliberating, we have a special treat, a fireside chat with Dana Blagon, founder of the B2Cs, Israel's largest B2C community. Dan will share his story at the state of the B2Cs in Israel and will answer some of the questions keeping founders awake at night. So let me start by introducing our esteemed roster of judges. Orly Glick, partner at Vintage, Daniel Cohen, partner at Viola, Netalie Nadivi, partner at Triventures, Yaron Daniely, partner at aMoon, Omri Boral, co-founder and CEO at TechForGood, Ilana Soloducho-Kashmir, partner at Peral Cohen, Yoav Fisher, director at HealthIL, of course, Guy Katsovich, co-founder and partner at Fusion LA, and from Procter & Gamble, Lee Radford, senior vice president and general manager of P&G Ventures, Julie Stetzer, senior vice president of R&D at P&G Ventures, and Alan Goldstein, managing director at P&G. Delighted to have you all with us. Thank you for joining. And now for the real thing. I'm happy to introduce you our amazing, truly amazing finalists. Maya Ashkenazi Otmazgin, co-founder and CEO of Maolac. Maya will be joined by Yuval Appelbaum, project manager at Maolac. Rebecca Sternberg, co-founder and CMO at Aquafit Intimates. Nava Ravid, CEO of Purific. And last but definitely not least, Yarkoni, founder and co-CEO of myAir. So without any further ado, Maya and Yuval, please take it away.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name is Maya Ashkenazi. I have a master's degree in biomedical engineering, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Maolac, Impact and Preventive Nutrition.
And my name is Yuval Appelbaum. I am a biotech engineer and the project manager at Maolac.
You might find this a little funny, but the inspiration for Maolac actually came from a teeny tiny human being, my first daughter. As I was breastfeeding her for the first time from my own body, I realized just how incredible breast milk is. It is a well-known fact that our diet and what we choose to put inside our body has a direct impact on our health and well-being. Proper nutrition provides our body with all the necessary nutrients to operate at its best. As you probably know, there are some foods which contain special nutrients that help sustain and boost our body's many functions. In this session, we would like to refer to these special foods as impact nutrition. In nature, there is one magical food with unique characteristic, which is nature gold standard for impact nutrition, and that is breast milk. Breast milk is the apex of human nutrition. It contains all the protein necessary for a defenseless newborn to survive and thrive, to grow big and be strong. Mother's milk is a jam-packed with biofunctional proteins, some of which are responsible for functions such as brain and bone development, of course, immune protection, gut immunity, skincare, and all of that, just to state a few. In Maolac, we are unlocking the secrets of human breast milk to create the impact nutrition of tomorrow. Our ingredients, which we also call Maolac mixtures, are inspired by mother's milk and sourced from bovine milk.
So here's what we do. In Maolac, we take a thorough and scientific approach to our research and development. We began our journey by mapping and studying the entire composition of both human breast milk as well as bovine colostrum. From there, our production process can be divided into three main sections: our unique algorithm and enrichment process, and the assembly line. Let me dive deeper. Our unique algorithm is capable of studying the entire composition of our raw material and predict possible protein combinations. How does it do that? Well, Maolac's search engine first identifies homologs between human proteins as well as bovine proteins, meaning proteins that are 95+% biosimilar. Then, the engine studies these proteins, amassing a database of homolog proteins with known characteristics, known pathways, as well as known domains. And then, lastly, based on specifications from us, our algorithm is able to data mine through that database and predict possible Maolac mixtures. Next, once we've decided on the protein combination of our mixture, using our know-how as well as our algorithm, we use simple industry-approved methods to clean and enrich our proteins within our raw material. Now, it's important to mention that the goal here is to enrich rather than purify. Maolac's final product is a powder mixture with defined characteristics capable of integrating into a myriad of foods, supplements, pharma, as well as dermocosmetic products. Maolac is patent pending and has already produced a few grams of our product in a lab scale model. Our product is divided into two main sections: our biofunctional proteins, which are 95% plus homolog to human proteins, as well as an absorption system, which protects the functionality of our proteins in oral administration and provides high bioavailability as well as high efficacy. Maolac has already conducted a POC, and for this POC, we chose to focus on an anti-inflammatory formulation. Now, this formulation is geared towards athletes to reduce stress and recovery time. In our POC, we were able to show in vitro testings that there's a reduction in T cell activation with our product, meaning cells that are responsible for inflammation. There was also a reduction in the amount of cytokines within our experiment, which are the precursors to T cells. In vivo models in rats, we were able to show a penetration of our proteins into the bloodstream. Maolac's product will have known and targeted impacts. For each of Maolac's mixtures, we have a specific effect. So, for example, that anti-inflammatory mixture I was mentioning before, but also you could think of a general immune boosting mixture to help the body protect itself.
Maolac's first line of product will be under the immune system umbrella. But for Maolac, nutrition is just the start. Looking forward, we plan to integrate our mixtures into almost any consumable product out there. Think pharma, think cosmetics. Our vision is to bring the ingenuity of breast milk into day-to-day use. Maolac is looking to market and supply our novel functional ingredient to food, supplement, and skincare companies who can then integrate this protein into their own labels. As part of our go-to-market, we are in the process of partnering with state-of-the-art production facilities, which will manufacture our ingredient and in a private label globally. To finish off, we believe that the answer to impact nutrition with unique ingredients lie within our own biology, which is why we are harnessing the power of breast milk to create the biofunctional ingredients of tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Five minutes for Q&As from the judges. Feel free to jump in. Thank you very much. It was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So I'll jump in. This is Alan. So first, congratulations. Great presentation, a great pitch. You presented some pretty interesting clinical data, your in vivo and in vitro. What evidence do you have from a consumer base that demonstrates that that technical data translates to consumer-based efficacy? Do you have any data there?
We don't have concrete data, but we have conducted a search within possible consumers and possible companies that we can integrate with, and have received a lot of positive feedback. Because most of them just told us, we would love to keep in touch, and when you finish your POC, when you get to the next stage of starting your pilot, industry-based pilot, we would love to integrate with you guys.
And just to state a few, Maolac is also part of the Kitchen Hub by Strauss, which means that we also have their back. They have our back.
Thank you.
I have 3 questions for you. I'll jump in. First of all, great presentation. I love the idea, and generally the idea of impact nutrition is really something that is important to me. Question number 1. First, how are you planning, or have you already did that, tested the stability of the effect? I mean, one of the things of supplements and natural foods and nutrition is the stability of the supplement. Have you tested for that? And if not, how are you planning to test for it?
We haven't yet tested for that, but there are protocols that are very specific for stability for food and supplement-based products. And we have a CRO that is going with us all the way and showing us which protocols are industry approved, and we just plan on doing those. Would you like to add anything?
No.
Perfect.
Okay. Second question, or maybe if anybody else wants to jump in, I'll wait for the end.
Go ahead.
Okay. Second question. You're talking about sourcing for large quantities. So, now you're testing it, but, in the future, hopefully you're going to grow and you'll need mass production. You're talking about bovine colostrum. Do you have, or are you aware of the mass production quantities? Is it available?
Definitely. So I would like to clarify a few things. The first is that I did mention bovine colostrum just for simplification, but we're actually looking at all milk derivatives. So you could look at whey and milk as well. And we do plan on sourcing some of our materials from bovine colostrum from bovine milk that isn't categorized as colostrum. And secondly, our product is an impact nutrition. We're looking at a very small amount of the product that creates that impact. So we are a powder-based product that would integrate into a big final food or supplement or whichever other, and that in itself would create that impact. So we're not looking at a lot of it. Like you don't need a lot of product in order to create the impact.
Okay.
Do you have a specific vertical from? Sorry.
No, it's okay. You can continue.
We have time for one more question.
Sorry, just a quick one. You mentioned kind of different areas you want to take this. Do you have a specific, if you had to go direct to consumer, is there a specific vertical you think this would be the most applicable to?
Yeah, so the first vertical we're looking at, and we're actually working on it right now, is three products that could be integrated quite easily. The first is the anti-inflammatory product I've already mentioned that can quite easily integrate into protein shakes for athletes. So that would just be an added powder into that. We're looking at a gut immunity powder that could be integrated into, we have fiber ones here, so fiber type powders that people just take for their gut immunity. Yeah, we're looking at immune-based products right now, which we're currently working on creating, that we see them integrating quite easily
into dairy product, yogurts,
yeah,
and
shakes.
even snacks. And our unique algorithm allows us to create even an anti-inflammatory formulation that you can integrate into specific dermocosmetics products, which are topical. It can be paste, it can be gel, and even as a suspension. It has a lot of potential.
Can I really jump in with a last question? Like you mentioned, do I have like 30 seconds?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, you mentioned anti-inflammatory. You're including claims, and I looked into this. Like anti-inflammatory is a claim, and I think you want to be in the category of non-claims, right? So what are the first conditions you're going to put on your label, which is not a claim? Because claim needs an FDA approval.
Yeah, of course. First of all, we're not looking at anti-inflammatory when the inflammation is caused by pathogens, because we're not pharma products. We're looking at reducing the amounts of inflammations within a year or two. Like if you look at a research, or reducing the recovery time of stress-induced inflammations. So we very much are steering away as much as possible from FDA claims.
So no claim.
But we do have, I do want to mention that we do have a regulatory assistant who's going with advisor. Thank you, advisor, who's going with us, and she has already mapped a few long-term clinical trials that we could do if we would like to get those claims. So if we would like to actually go through that process.
Great. Thank you, Maya and Yuval. I've mentioned at the beginning that we're all very excited to have this competition here for the first time in Israel, and I guess it comes with a prize. So in some way, I forgot to mention one of our judges, Miri Polachek from Joy Ventures. I apologize for that. And Miri, pleasure to have you with us. And now let's please continue to our next finalist, Rebecca Sternberg, co-founder and CMO at Aquafit Internet.
Hang on, just one sec. Welcome to Aquafit Intimate, pain-free intimacy. At Aquafit, we're pioneering a new approach to sexual wellness and intimate self-care for women and by women. My name is Rebecca, and with me on this journey is Vered, she's responsible for our science, and Varda, who's responsible for our business, and Dr. Amy Kesselman, who's responsible for our gynecology. This evening, we're going to talk about sex, painfully bad sex. While few women talk about it, 40% of women said they experienced pain the last time they had sex. And if a woman complains about painful sex or vaginal discomfort, she's likely to experience a delayed path to diagnosis of 2 to 3 years and up to 15 doctors. Sexual wellness crosses all ages. For young women, it typically manifests itself in involuntary vaginal muscle contractions. This means that young women can't insert a finger or a tampon. Vaginismus is on the rise because young men are watching porn. They're coming to their first sexual encounter a little bit overzealous, and the young women are contracting. The second group are women in the reproductive ages, and they're coming to sexual wellness after postnatal recovery, after childbirth, which is in itself a very traumatic event, through stitches and pH imbalance from breastfeeding and dryness from contraceptives. And last but not least, every healthy woman in her prime, namely called menopause, will experience changes in her estrogen and progesterone, which will lead to dryness and loss of vaginal elasticity. Today, there are two approaches to sexual wellness. The first is active agent delivery, which is, in its most part, chemical and topical. It can involve lubricants and gels that are literally squirted into the vagina, hormones that are in forms of capsules, suppositories, creams, patches, vaginal rings, and IUDs. And for women, this is a shoot and forget, out of sight, out of mind approach to their vaginal wellness. A second approach of dilation therapy addresses the question of mechanical. Masters and Johnson's already mentioned 50 years ago that if a woman doesn't use it, she loses it. The muscle training is aimed at restoring vaginal capacity, elasticity, and control. But this is what a vaginal dilator really looks like. It's rigid or semi-rigid. It's made out of silicone. It's incompatible with individual female anatomy. Namely, it doesn't bend very well, and the vagina is actually S-shaped in section. It requires lubrication, which looks typically something like this. And it leaks. And the key thing is that it's painful to use. That is, if a woman is complaining about pain, the go-to care offered to her is something that is painful. And not surprisingly, 70% of women do not complete dilation therapy protocols. And this is where Aquafit comes in. At Aquafit, we've brought together all three approaches: chemical, usability, and vaginal training to create a new comprehensive approach to vaginal care. We bring intimate training, pH balance, and active agent delivery naturally. This is what a gel stick looks like. It's a gel in a stick. It's soft, it has elasticity, and it's self-lubricating. To begin intimate training, all a woman needs to do is put it under water, either in the shower, under a tap water, or dip it into a glass of water next to her bed. In working with herself, if this is the vagina, you press slightly at the base, and muscle contraction is working against and with the gel stick. In addition, as one is working softly with the vagina, we're delivering deep active agents to the vaginal tissue, meaning that it's not only lubricating, but it's also bringing all of the active agents directly to the vaginal tissue. Alongside this, we're balancing feminine pH. Women come in all sizes, and so do Aquafits. And what we ask women to do is simply finger themselves. 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and you know where to start. Aquafit lets women take 5 for themselves, 5 minutes of intimate training, 2 to 3 times a week. Each Aquafit gel stick lasts up to 14 days, and it's 100% biodegradable. The vagina is actually a really unique space. First of all, its location next to the kidney, the livers, and the intestines. It's a great place for local drug delivery. The vagina is highly vascular. There's body temperature and vaginal pH. We're slightly acidic, and muscle contraction. And Aquafit leverages all of these for unique triggers. Aquafit Intimate Gel Stick portfolio comes in multiple different flavors. Each of the different products has different active agents inside. Aquafit Pre, Aquafit Bio, Aquafit Bliss, and Aquafit Revive. Aquafit Pre, our first product, includes lactic acid and urolaric acid and vitamin B, and it's aimed at vaginal muscle training, pain-free, with hydration. Our second product, Aquafit Bio, based on water, lactic acid, and aloe vera, with vitamin C and terpene derivatives, restores healthy vaginal pH and actually helps a woman's vagina recover her own healthy balance. In addition, in working with women, we've discovered that women are so painfully unable to speak about this that we've decided to develop an interface that provides sexual wellness access to all women. We let a woman understand her concerns, get feedback and support through 3 simple mechanisms: self-reporting, She gets an assessment, and then she's monitored as she's training. We don't need any censors. We just need to speak with women and let women speak with us. We've worked with 200 plus women ages 21 to 70, and we've absolutely crossed the usability chasm. If we saw 70% attrition of women leaving vaginal trainers, we've seen 90% product satisfaction in our women across all usability metrics, ease of use, comfort and pain-free, and effectiveness for sexual wellness. And the response isn't just technical, it's emotional. My sexual confidence is back. It feels like the real thing, but I'm in control. That's from a vaginismus woman, 29, who spoke about our product for 6 minutes. She wasn't speaking about our product, she was speaking about her sex life. Another woman, after stitches, I was aching. Aquafit helped me return to my sex. And menopause didn't pause my sex life. Aquafit saved it. Our gel stick is actually a smart vaginal hydrogel. What does that mean? A hydrogel is actually a 3-dimensional lattice, and we've taken out 2 patents that enable us to control where the active ingredients are located in the gel stick, either based on a slices model, because the entry to the vagina has different needs than the middle and the top. It can be in layers, and it can be dispersed. And in addition, we control the delivery speed and dosage of active agents delivered to the vagina. And I want to end with our vision of the sexual wellness consumable D2C landscape. We believe that as we emerge with understanding of this blue ocean, we're going to move from products with actually a very minimal active agents on the lower end to more advanced active agents that are plant-based and non-toxic. And we will also move on the other range from mechanical approaches that are more usable for women. And we're bringing them together with a service, a digital service, to actually introduce a sexual wellness self-care platform. And so we're trying to make it possible for sisters to do it for themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca, for a great presentation. We'll take now the next few minutes for questions from the judges.
I want to start. Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't see you. Wait, I'm going to stop the share. There we go. Sorry. Thank you. I'm going to fondle this as we speak.
This was incredible. Thank you. Can I just understand from a status perspective, you basically sent it out to a sample of 200 people, but you're not selling this yet, right?
No, we are actually selling. We started selling in the last quarter. We started selling in Israel. We had moved our manufacturing back from Hungary to Israel, and we've been selling in Israel. And we've been selling in Israel to quite interesting audiences. Young women, mainly in the military, who are not getting any response to their complaints. Women, Orthodox women who can't consummate their marriage, which is kind of interesting, and menopausal women.
And when are you going to launch in the US?
We're actually going to be launching from Israel globally because we only want to sell digitally, because we are very interested and we are the only ones monitoring the sexual wellness of women. It's very important that somebody go through us, and also the women prefer it as well. We don't see this as something that a woman says, I want somebody to see me buying this. It's also because each woman has a different indication. For instance, vaginismus, we're typically seeing about 100% success rate in 6 to 8 weeks. That's a form of subscription. A menopausal woman is going to have to be using this persistently for the rest of her life. That's also a different subscription. So we're interested in working in a subscription model globally with also monitoring digitally this information. And I want to pontificate about that. Already, we've discovered correlations that Pay Health is not discovering because we're listening to women. So we've seen that women who are 28 years old and are reporting that they're having vaginal dryness, we'll ask her, well, why are you having vaginal dryness? Are you using the pill? And we're seeing that 10 years of contraceptives will show menopausal symptoms in women who are in their 30s.
Yeah. I just want to, I don't want to take all the time. I would love to hear the marketing, kind of marketing strategy. Maybe you can take that offline. I will say that it does sound to me a little bit like maybe you need to focus some, because a lot of crowd, a lot of geographies, a lot on the table. It's very, very interesting, but it's worth a further discussion on marketing strategy. But again, we can take that offline.
With pleasure.
Hi, Rebecca. This is Lee. Nice to meet you. Nice job.
Hi, Lee.
I have a couple of questions on the consumable. You mentioned that, they last roughly 14 days or 14 usage. Can you talk a little bit more about the signals when the consumer knows that they need to change, or just the physical change in the product that knows that you need to repurchase?
Okay, so it's a really good question. First of all, it's a marketing decision. It really doesn't really need to get killed off after 14 days, but actually because of women's hygiene, it's a very sensitive product in sense of fingernails, etc. And also cleanliness, and the notion that today a product like this or a vibrator, if you switch partners, it's kind of not a good idea that you don't switch the device as well for reasons of what you're moving from one partner to another. So in terms of indications, it's really, it will last, right? It completely decomposes. This is 90% water, so it will just decompose if you don't keep it in the fridge and you open it or put it in the trash, and that's okay. But really what's happening is that our digital interface is usually progressing. A woman is actually pretty much going to progress every 2 weeks. So we're seeing this as a really good measure of progress. And in some ways, I'm sorry to say this, but women don't like their sexual wellness problems in their face. They don't want this lying around.
So it needs to be refrigerated?
It needs to be refrigerated after use, yes, rinsed and refrigerated. And actually, surprisingly, we kind of like it cold, but some women prefer it a little bit lukewarm, can put it in a glass. I've actually, through Aquafit, I've discovered it's actually kind of nice to have something cold.
I really want to steal two quick questions.
So sorry, I want to be mindful of the time. We have time for one last question, and then we have to move on with the presentation. So
one last
go.
Two sections. One, the size of the market. Like, I'm really curious. I'm sure like it's a huge market, and I'm sure you have numbers of the size of the market and how you build it. And second, is this considered a medical device?
The medical device regulation is a geographic issue. Right now, we've received cosmetic regulation in EU and Israel. And we've been working very hard to use every possible loophole not to make it into regulation. We do know that the FDA, it's a class 2, much like other lubricants. What we're trying to do is actually go as much as we can without medical regulation, and we will probably, for Aquafit Bio, go into the medical regulation sphere. But we're very conscious of that. We want to stay as cosmetic as possible.
Hey, Rebecca, real quick, this is Lee. What are you charging? What's your pricing to consumers?
We're pricing it at about $22 per unit. And if you buy a monthly subscription of 3 units, it's about $50, in line with Bonafide and actually Kindra as well.
Guys, Rebecca, thank you very much. Guys, I have to pass it on to Or. It was an intriguing presentation, so everybody have questions, but we have to move on with the presentations. So, Or.
Thanks, Guy. Thanks, Rebecca. Really great presentation, as everyone mentioned. Now over to you, Nava. Nava Ravid, CEO of Purific. Please take it away.
Hi, I am Nava Ravid, and I'm excited to present you the new generation of sanitation. A few words about my journey. I have been working for L'Oreal for 24 years, out of which for 13 years I have been the CEO of L'Oreal in Israel. It was exciting to bring L'Oreal to be number 1 in the country. And for my achievement, I was decorated by the French decoration of Chevalier de Légion d'Honneur. that is a decoration that is being given to people that are contributing to the economy and of France and Israel. Today, I am the CEO of Purific. As we all know, and now especially, more than ever, that hygiene is the new normal. We all know and use existing sanitation solutions, but apparently what we all use contains alcohol, ethanol, and if we speak about alcohol, is at least 60% concentration. All health authorities and health leaders are calling for safe and effective sanitation solutions. Current products are good, but not great. Alcohol, peroxide, etc. are bad for our skin. It is irritating, dehydrating, and allergic. So, as September 11 changed dramatically the world of security, I am proud to share with you Purific that will change the world of sanitation. HealthIL is a hypochlorous acid water that is known as a strong disinfector that kills, that destroys bacteria, viruses, and fungal. But there are some challenges in the existing product. They are not pure enough. Their pH doesn't fit our skin. They have a short shelf life and losing their efficacy by time. And they are not environment friendly. And then we are where our science meets HealthIL. We achieve electrolyzed patent water to be antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, 99 plus 99%. Our innovation, the ultimate disinfection, through a unique patent technology, we have a sanitizer for surfaces, body, and hands. Behind the technology, we have a group of scientists from Bar-Ilan University with 5 patents, making sure that we are really antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal. This is Purific. Actually, water and salt going through an electrolyze process, making it killing 99 plus 99% of bacteria and viruses. Purific. Our innovation is safe and pure. We don't use alcohol. It is 99.9% natural. It has a shelf life of minimum 24 months. The pH is 5.5 to 5.8, meaning it is excellent for our skin, and production is accessible. We can produce it easily and cheaply everywhere in the world. Hypochloric acid is a process based on, as I said, water with addition of hypochloric acid, and makes it a natural ultimate sanitization. It is water-based, no side effect. Our unique technology, our unique 5 patented technologies for electrolyzed biosanitizing water has been licensed to us exclusively by Bar-Ilan University. I will say again, simple production process, accessible. We minimize plastic use and CO2 gas emission. It's biodegradable and non-corrosive. It's suitable for indoor, outdoor, and any condition. It is stable, water-based solution, long shelf, no side effects, no allergy, no toxic, not skin irritation, and safe even for your eyes. Only to show you that I can even spray it in my mouth and I am still alive. We have a big spectrum of product uses. It can be used for hygiene, face and surfaces, hair and scalp, women hygiene, mouthwash, rash, diaper rash. It's a huge spectrum that we can use it. We are going into a category that is huge and will be huge. If it was $3.3 billion valued in 2019, it is projected to be in 2026, 13.5 billion euros, with a growth of 20% per year. That is huge. The team, we have a great team, beginning with Mr. Ronnie Landau, a partner, a owner of Gigi, a professional cosmetic company that is 60 years old, is being known all over the world. Eran Drucker, that is the technical, actually Purific CEO, a partner in Cosmoclean, that is our company. And due to his skills and managerial experience in Israel, he was recognized by Bar-Ilan University to get the patent. And I am Nava Ravid, and I spoke about myself. We are really proud to bring to the world the revolutionary sanitation, natural, accessible, available, effective, safe, achievable, environmental friendly to everyone, everywhere. So every small village, everywhere can reach easily, safely, and cheaply the new generation of sanitation, Purific. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nava, for a great presentation. Guys, we have a few minutes for Q&A. Feel free to opt in. It worked wonderful before.
I got a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Julie. No, go ahead.
Okay, great. This is very exciting, as you say. It's certainly an area of high interest right now. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about what exactly is the innovation and how it works.
Okay. HealthIL is not a new product in the world. HealthIL exists, but the challenges were, first of all, to make it pure, not to have very bad byproducts like ammonia, etc. We are 100% pure. Second, there was an issue of shelf life, and we did reach with our technology at least 25 months of shelf life, and effectiveness is not going down through time. So it means that after 22, 23 years, it will still be effective. And the technology of production is very simple, and everyone can access with the operation of 1-on-1 meters to produce sanitizing water, 99.99 log 8 even, everywhere, very easily.
Thank you.
Thanks. So that was going to be some of my questions. So just for clarity, just to follow up on Julie's, is your IP covering the shelf stability? Is that kind of where the essence of your IP is that you filed?
Yeah.
Okay, super. My second question is around registration. So formula specific, can you make any comments around specifically, I guess, the US and EPA registration on a product like this?
Okay, so we have the Israeli registration for surfaces, and towards the end of the week, we will have it also on body. We are working in the US, we are, I hope, in the last stages of EPA. In the UK, we should work on 510K, we are working on it. And in the EU, it is a biocide regulation. Am I clear?
Thank you. Yes, that was very clear. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Do we have any more questions, or can we move on to the last presentation? All right, so back to you.
All right, great. Nava, thanks again for a great presentation. And now for our final finalists, last but definitely not least, Rachel Yarkoni, founder and co-CEO of myAir. Rachel, over to you.
Stress is the global silent killer. Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel. And for the past 20 years, I had a very stressful career as VP marketing at Teva, the leading generic pharma company, and as CEO of the snacks division at Nestle, the leading food corporate. As a business leader, an executive manager, a mother, and a caregiver to my parents, stress has become a massive burden in my life. I felt I couldn't breathe. I didn't have enough air. Chronic stress is lead to the 6 leading causes of death. In fact, 75% of the US population declared that they are suffering from it. And the cost of stress to the US industry is $300 billion a year. I try to manage my stress through meditation and mindfulness, but I failed to maintain stress management into my routine until I understood the changing behavior is so complex. But there is one behavior that we all have to do, which is eating. In a world where we manage our diet and manage our sports routine, it is essential that we will start to manage our stress. And personal nutrition is part of the solution. We are myAir, a smart food company. myAir develops functional plant-based formulations proven to reduce stress and leverage big data to tailor them to the consumer stress effects. Our first application is functional nutrition bars. Imagine that once a month you get a box into your doorstep, and in the box you're going to find a very tasty and healthy nutrition bars proven to reduce stress and tailored to your specific stress effects and cognitive profile. myAir breakthrough solution is based on 2 scientific words: the science of functional plant-based molecules and the science of personalized nutrition based on big data and signal processing. Our body is a super intelligent machine. If we provide the right fuel, our nerve system can balance our own stress. myAir SuperPlant's proprietary formulations do exactly that. We use research-based botanic extracts and plant molecules proven to reduce stress, which supports the body's natural ability to heal with stress. Our SuperPlants connect with the receptors in the endocrine and autonomic nervous system. When talking about stress, one size does not fit all. Harvard Medical Business Review already stated that stress has many faces. For example, stress affects me mainly at night on my sleep, but we saw in our research with Garmin that stress might affect in the mornings on your energetic levels or focus, or at night on the option to go to sleep, and each one of us demonstrated two main stress effects. So the next question would be, how should I know how stress affects me and what kind of nutrition bar I should eat? Well, luckily, we live at the age of big data. And through our research with Professor Daniely from Berkeley, a stress researcher within the last 20 years and the dean of the biologic faculty, we developed an algorithm which is patented and based on physiological data and psychological data. I assume that most of you have a smartwatch, and if not, you will have a smartwatch in the future. And we take 80K data points per day from wearables. We connect to Garmin, Apple, etc. And we combine that with cognitive data in order to get a deep profile that connects body and mind. Since stress is an ongoing problem, we offer an ongoing solution. We offer a subscription model, which is data-driven and based on ongoing engagement. In the last few months, we already started to sell our product in the US, and the feedback of consumers were behind our wildest dreams. 68% of users said that the algorithm predicted exactly how stress affects them. 72% of them said that they reduced their stress levels, and 71% wanted to stay with us and keep buying. Actually, we are not so surprised with that result because we conducted the research with Garmin. We have a strategic partnership with them, and we demonstrated that our product reduced stress to 73% of participants and increased the quality of sleep to 84% of participants. Another business model that we just started to work on is with corporates, and we license our formulations and our personalization algorithm in a SaaS platform. So to sum up, let's see a quick movie.
Stress, the global silent killer. It affects all of us in so many different ways. Daniel suffers from restlessness, Sarah from sleep disorders. Michael has difficulties concentrating, and Christine has low energy levels while Dylan has muscle tension. In fact, 75% of the adult population in the US has reported suffering from stress in the past month, but it is senseless to offer the same solution to everyone. Well, luckily, we live in the age of big data, and through our research on stress, we were able to develop a patent-pending algorithm based on AI technology. We're myAir, a functional foods company specializing in personal stress management, and we have some soothing news for you. From today, managing stress will be easier and even tasty. Imagine receiving a box to your doorstep every month, and in this box, you'll find a set of tasty and healthy bars made with a mixture of plant-based molecules, active terpenes, and super herbs, proven to reduce stress and tailor to your specific stress profile and levels. How can we tailor the ingredients to your profile? Physiological and psychological levels are monitored 24/7 through any smartwatch and are analyzed for a personalized match, adapting and verifying itself over time, so that your personalized bars will always work for you. Starting today, it's actually possible. You can overcome stress effortlessly as part of your daily routine for a healthy lifestyle. And that's good news, because either you manage your stress or it will manage you. myAir, stressless routine.
People said to us, we are stressed, we can't breathe, we don't have enough air. Stress is one of the biggest silent killers in the world, but it doesn't have to be that way. As long as we try to combat stress with behavioral change, personal nutrition based on big data is part of the solution. In the last few months, thousands of people all across the US enjoyed our smart superfood and significantly improved their well-being. We created this impact with a small and dedicated team. It's time we take the next step. We invite you to join our smart food journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, for a great presentation. We would like to move on to the last Q&A session Judges, feel free to open.
Great job, Rachel. Could you talk a little bit about what you're patenting?
Sure. The patent is about the mechanism of personalization and the match to the formulations that we have created. So we have IP for the formulations, and since it's food, as you know, trade secrets are sometimes better to keep, but the patent is of all the mechanism itself. We are already in the PCT phase.
Hi, this is Lee. Nice presentation. I had a couple questions on the degree of customization for the consumer. So when they do get their personalized matches, I mean, how many formulations are out there? Can you talk a little bit more of just the degree of your SKUs and how that matches to consumers on a personalization standpoint?
Great question, because you probably imagine that it's not really relevant to create billion of SKUs. So we created the 36 SKUs, and the model is a bit like Nespresso. We have few options and thousands of combinations. And since we found out in the research that each one of us has different two main stress effects that are relevant to him, to his profile, so we can tailor the mix to each consumer. And we saw that along the way, we have engagement for many months. So we see that it shifts. Sometimes people who started with the stress levels at night on their sleep quality, which are very high, they reduce that, and then sometimes it shifts to different stress effects. And we track our consumers all the time with the physiological and psychological data, and that's give us the opportunity to give them the personalized solution.
Then, how will you accommodate food limitations, people that have diabetes or that are lactose intolerant or have all kinds of restrictions?
So our food is a functional food. It's not a medical food. And the regulation that we work through is the FDA Food and Drugs Administration. We already passed that in the USA. We are not tailored these products to diabetes. Although there's no added sugar, it's all natural, it's only dates, nuts, and super plants, our formulations. Our target audience is us, 75% of the population that want to keep their hectic lifestyle and manage their stress through functional nutrition. Since we have cooperation with food corporates and we're going to license our formulations in other food products, maybe that would be an opportunity to make a portfolio for diabetes as well.
We have time for one last question.
Okay, I'm going to jump in and make it a two-part one last question. The first, I'll try and keep it short. The first part is around, have you said that you've started sort of selling or distributing this? Can you talk a little bit about, and sorry if I missed it, pricing as well as reordering? I mean, how many folks actually went into second and third months, if that's the case? And, the second, specifically around the clinical data that you've shown, and I know there's not a regulated product, but it does look like very nice shifts, only they shift in half a point or a point on a scale of 27 points. So, my question is how robust do you think, how impactful you think the benefit would be long-term?
Thank you. For the first question, we are selling our first products and this is only the first use case. Because our company is about formulations and technology, personalization, and not only the bars. But this use case, we are selling the boxes for $40 per month, and 72% of our users want to stay with us, and they do. And for the second question, so 73% of the participants in the research reduce their stress levels in 20%, and they increased the quality of sleep in 21%. 84% of the participants increased the quality of sleep in 21%.
All right. Thank you, Rachel, and thanks again to all our finalists. These were truly great pitches. While the judges will now start deliberating, we will now start the special session we promised you with Daniely, founder of the B2C's Israel's largest B2C community. Dan will share his story about the state of Israel's B2Cs and will answer some of the questions keeping founders awake at night. See you soon.
Okay, so this is my moment. So hey everybody, I'm not sure how many people are watching this, and we're just gonna talk to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 great ladies we have here on this session. So first, I'm gonna share my screen for a second. Okay. Okay, just a second. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen? Just nudge. Yeah. Okay, great. So, hey everybody. I think we have something around 10 minutes or something like that. You can see my screen, right? Right. Chat. Okay. Share screen. Okay. How about now? It's okay? Now you don't see my face. Now, okay. Okay. Okay, now we do. Okay. I hope I'm not a boomer. Okay, so let's start. Now we can start. Okay, cool. So, hey everybody, and very nice to meet you all. So, as Orson, my name is Daniely. I'm going to share with you my story and my journey at the state of B2C, the Israeli B2C. We'll share my personal story, things I've learned, and then we'll take it from there for some interesting Q&As from the community. So let's start. So first, a little bit about myself. My name is Daniely. I started my personal journey. I was an admin for many years in advertising. Started as a copywriter in a creative team in an Israeli-based part of a global network called Y&R. As a copywriter, I learned how to build brands like Hyundai, Toshiba, Boss, Yotvata, Globes, etc. It was back then in 2016. In 2018, I co-founded a social media marketing agency in the name of U-Turn. U-Turn started basically in 2007, 2008. It was pretty much when Facebook started their journey. Okay, 90 minutes. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the information from the chat. Okay, so I was a creative in the creative team, learned how to build brands and do communication for brands, and then co-founding U-Turn that after 4 years was merged, been acquired by Grey Group in Israel, agency in the name of Adler Chomsky, which is the largest advertising group in Israel. I led the digital business at the agency for about 4 years. It means that I was responsible for anything that is from strategy to creative to production to media buying to analysis, influencers, content marketing, and everything for the largest Israeli local brands and global ones, Intel, Microsoft, etc. And after doing that for almost 4 years, I left the advertising world and started working with startups. My journey with startups, I started as a CMO, outsourced CMO. So I was joining small teams in the early stage of the companies, mostly between 3 to 10 people from product, technology, and not so much for marketing areas. And I was the marketing guy at the company and working with some of the brands you can see down at the bottom of the slide, with Mapilim and Easy, which is the local Yelp, let's say, and Van for the co-living, and Shukit for the direct-to-consumer fresh produce, and some work with Jellybot and the gaming company, Jolt from the education, I with Mine for the data ownership, and of course next are the direct-to-consumer e-commerce, super smart dash cams, and more. And when I started to do this consultancy and working with a lot and many startups from different verticals, I think it was maybe after two years or so that I decided that I don't want to do B2B anymore. It's not my areas. I'm an admin, I'm a brands guy. What I love to do and what I know to do is building brands, going direct to the consumers, using all the marketing strategies and tactics that I've learned over the years in my work as an advertiser. And this is what I want to bring to the table while working with different startups. So what I've learned is that basically since ever, Israel has been the B2B startup nation, right? So, a team of 3 people going out from the army, from the technological units, taking their skills, commercializing them, building products to sell to enterprise, etc., from cybersecurity and AI and semiconductors and a lot of deep technologies. But something that changed at the past maybe 5 or 6 years, what started with companies as ways and then weeks, just got bigger and bigger, and more B2C startups started to launch and scale in Israel, and the industry was a bit scattered, so there was an industry, but nobody really talked about it. Some VCs and some entrepreneur, and with every success, people was trying to do more and more B2C and consumer-related startups. So it's a new breed of companies. And what makes the difference is those companies are leveraging great technology, usually. By the way, it can be inside the product. It can be to leverage great technology in the marketing and data-driven plays to scale the businesses, is to build innovative products from all areas. And you can see from areas of travel to hospitality to insurance to grooming to cosmetics. And we saw just today 4 different amazing products from different areas and different products. And the last thing is that those companies are not hiring the sales marketing, sales guy or sales team going to those enterprises, but they're going direct to the consumers from all over the world. And I think one of the best, of course, great marketing and data capabilities that we have in Israel. And we have, of course, great technologies. But I think what was made the biggest difference is that in 2020, we're not longer that far from the market. So it's not like we have this uncle from America that will bring us those shoes of Nike Jordan that just came out, and that we'll have it here in Israel in 3 months from now. Millennial in Tel Aviv is a millennial in London, is a millennial in the States. We all share the same media platform, the same content platform. We also follow the same influencers. So the world just got really, really flattened. What makes this thing a reality to make those consumer brands, global consumer brands, out of Israel. So I did 2 things. So one of them was first to launch the B2C. So the B2C is a community. It's the fastest growing and the biggest and maybe the most engaging place to discuss consumer-related topics. So everything from questions to special content to introducing new ventures, introducing and get to know the people that building the B2C industry. And this is a great place for anyone who is into consumer-facing businesses and B2C startups. And the second is to launch, after 2 years, is to launch a kind of a VC, or basically exactly a VC, in the name of the Flying Whale Ventures. That basically is the first B2C focused early stage fund. And what makes us very, very interesting and unique is, first, we are targeting B2C companies. So if you're an early stage B2C company, we want to meet and we want to talk and we want to learn the business and share our feedback. And the second, that we have this kind of a marketing and creative team that combined with the best talent you can find here in Israel. So basically, we're combining both worlds, from advertising and marketing and to startups. And we're working very closely with the companies we are partnering with about everything from strategy, brand storytelling, acquisition, performance marketing, content marketing, influencers, video production, and our goal is to accelerate like the first part of the journey of the company to pass this threshold that B2C companies need to pass in order to play in the game of the big fishes, let's say. So when O asked me if I would come and say a few words and maybe talk a little bit about something that relates to the topics, as we're in our relationship is going way back, I thought to myself what will be like maybe most interesting or something that will have value. And I think that as brands today working outside and sharing their story and sharing their journey, and as you can see, those influencers that we're following after talking with the audience and asking, because today is a kind of an era that we're doing some of, let's call it a live marketing. So it's not, we're past the period of time that we set, in the building. We thought that we know everything and then just build a plan and execute it. And today everything is so fluid and everything is so fragile. And it's such a great thing to build the brand and the brand story in a way that the audience itself is really involved in the things that we do and the brands that we build. And the listening is such a crucial part from the journey of each direct-to-consumer or B2C company. So I went to to the community, to the B2C community, and I asked, so what are the things that you think would be interesting to talk about? And we got tons of answers. And I chose, I think, the 4 questions that are maybe, for me, was most relevant, and the question was repeated on themselves. So I thought it would be interesting. So let's start. So first, the first question was about you can see it downstairs. So it's Ofer Shaltil asked the question of Ofer is managing the operation of an activity of Snap in Israel. And the question was, how do you get conviction for investment in a very early stage? So I think many people approaching and ask me what kind of data investors needs to see in those stages in order to get the conviction they need or to decide to invest or to partner with the company. So I can say, and I can talk in the name of all the investors, but I can share my point of view. So first, in B2C, other than other type of companies, it's about 2 things mainly. It's about the numbers, and B2C is very easy to show some numbers in any way. So it can be like a product, it can be like a channel, it can be a community, but some numbers to show, it's only about the graph. And you want to show the partner that you want to partner with that somebody about what you're doing and that people are waiting to see what you're going to do. So this is one in the numbers and maybe the straightforward answer. The second thing, it's about karma. I think that most of the companies that I was involved with and the companies that did succeed to do something with impact, it was companies that in something that they've done, they got the impact from somewhere. So it can be like special events that occur. Like if you're going out with a consumer-related or consumer-focused value proposition, some things will happen as we are going into consumer, and it's a consumer world. So the first again is the numbers, but I think that is very important, maybe as the numbers, is about the karma. It's about something need to happen when you go out with the value proposition or with the product, with the idea, because you're going to meet people and people are the audience. So something needs to happen. And now for the maybe more dry part, so the know-how is gold. In consumer, basically, and mostly in Israel, consumer know-how is gold. So team, super experienced and super important to have the team that is experienced with B2C businesses. And you don't have all the knowledge in your team, bring those advisors. We're fortunate enough to have so many success in Israel of B2C companies, and we have the knowledge and the know-how all over Israel, and in so many companies, in so many verticals. Find the advisors that can bring the know and the knowledge to accelerate everything that you're doing. It will be it's worth a lot. Second thing is about how proactive is the team. So in B2C, one of the great things is about your ability to just get out from the building and start doing things, and not only about the product you're building, but you need to be proactive. We need to do a lot of things. One of the best, maybe the most known stories about the guys in Imagine Media that was trying to build a kind of a relationship with influencers in the fashion or the comedy world. And one of the things that they've done, they traveled to LA, they identified that all the influencers sitting in a specific building in LA, they started working with them, building the relationship, and 5, 6, 7 years later, the company was sold in around $100 million to Warner Music. So again, be proactive, do things, can be questionnaires, open Facebook groups, do things and be proactive to validate your insights and your thoughts about what you're doing. Third point is about how the world reacts to your story, and it relates to the karma that we talked about earlier. You don't need a full product to see the world, to get the world to react to the story of the things you're building. And maybe the last point is about the two approaches that I find super interesting. So one approach is about let's build like almost a full and amazing experience, and not going live before that. You can mention Lemonade and other companies. Just by the way, today somebody shared their new company, Empathy, in the B2C community, and I think it's a great example of a product that was launched after it was very well crafted in the story and the narrative and everything, and it's the full experience that you're going to get. From the other hand, another like a great entrepreneur that I met in a different community that talked about the fact that he wanted to do something in travel, but he didn't want to spend a lot of money to buy to produce and to create the product. It was about traveling, so he made like an Instagram page and an Instagram account that is going all over Israel and describing and showing the different places you can go. And he got something around 50K of followers in less than a few months, and he has no product, he has no experience, but the idea is so strong, and he used those free channels to do the validation of the idea. So this is about Ofer's question. The second one is about Tal Schweiger just asked. Let's say you have a like great product, where to go to the first reach. So as I see it, I think the most important part is to identify your low-hanging fruits. So try to understand, but deeply understand, what is the character of your product. Is it like a search-based need? Like your product is something that people are searching, and then I would go very, very bullish with that utility on Google. And for start, just go and crack and try to find out the best way, the best tactics on where people are searching for those kind of products. And we can see, for an example, topics which is a like on-demand consultancy platform for young parents. You can go, if you're like a new experience, is clever, like a shopping experience, you can go for Facebook, TikTok, Snap, etc. And if you're a community focused like Balena, which creates compostable sandals, and you can find those communities on Instagram, Facebook, etc. The third point was about brand versus performance. So I'm going to do it very quick because we don't have a lot of time, but just to give you my point of view on how to see it. So try to imagine, like, you have to do both, right? Like, brand is to bring this desirement of the product, and the performance will take the demand. So think about the two of how can I build a macro story for my brand marketing, and to find a bigger mission than the product and be proactive about it, go and chase after it. And the micro product will be about the performance, and it's all about the balance. And please don't do just one of them, and be aware of that. And if you find something very small to do in your brand marketing, please do it. And the last point is about, Omer asked about the benefits of building in public. And again, I'm going to do it short, but you need to share your journey as your brand building, because if you share your journey and the difficulties and the opportunities and the high and lows, you can make your friends, family, and customer aware of this journey, and it will strengthen your brand and the story. It will make you a story. It will make a story that is easy to tell, because story is moving faster than facts, right? And when things are good, everybody will be happy for you, and they will be happy to share and to push your story. And when things will be bad, and they will be bad in some point, they will be there for you. And it can be some of some kind of a kind of small insurance to your journey and to your brand, or to your company. Once you're out there, it's part of everybody's life, and I think you can see a lot of value of building this your product and brand outside. So thank you for the time. I'm inviting you to join us to the community, to build things with us, and to approach us at the Flying Whale Ventures. But let's meet at the Facebook, at the B2C's community, and talk about B2C businesses, and maybe even meet in person. So thank you, everybody, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.
So hi everyone, Dan, thank you very much for a fascinating presentation. As always, I'm now going to turn it up to Lee from P&G Ventures to make the big announcement. Lee, thank you. Excited. Can you hear?
Lee, we can't hear you.
Let me try again. Hello, everybody. Okay, let me start. First of all, I wanted to thank everyone for their contributions to our first Israel Innovation Challenge. Really has gone beyond expectations. It was just fantastic. Great stories, great businesses, great presentations. You all did an amazing job. And what always makes it tough with any of these, there's always one winner, but all of you guys are winners in what you guys have accomplished with your businesses. But today I would like to recognize Rebecca Sternberg, Aquafit Intimate, as a winner of the first Israel Innovation Challenge. Congratulations.
Fantastic. Wow, that's wonderful. That's so exciting. This is great news for us. We can't see it at all.
Wait a second. I'll try to make it work. And you're going to see. Can you see it now?
Extremely exciting for us. Yay! That's amazing. First of all,
check ever written for an Israeli company. Like literally the biggest check.
Amazing. Thank you so much. We really look forward to working with P&G Ventures, and in general, bringing sexual wellness to a broader audience. It's really exciting for us, and especially to get recognition from Procter & Gamble that's built such an interesting brand for menopause. I think there's so much to talk about. This is great for us. I wanted to thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations. Lee, do you want to go with the closing remarks or should I?
Go ahead.
All right, so I just want to say again, thank you for the wonderful founders who participated in this challenge and for all the judges who took time and efforts in order to be here. And again, I want to thank our partners who are leading this challenge from P&G Ventures, all the team. Thank you very much for believing in us. And of course, for everyone in the audience who stayed till now and watched the exciting announcement, thank you very much and have a good night. Toda raba.
Amazing. Thank you again. Enjoy.
Thank you and Mazel tov.
Wonderful job.
Thank you.